so easily. Open up your... Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Cora, and sometimes I do some DIY stuff on this channel, and today I'm going to be just kind of covering up this little bar section, or this wall section underneath of the bar top that goes to my kitchen counter. And it gets pretty dinged up, it gets scuffed from the footprints, it gets scuffed up from like the black bar stool. Sometimes I have my dining room table over here in this little area, or sometimes I'm storing whatever my recent or current projects are, like my flooring, which has been here for a little while we've been doing flooring throughout the house. I am removing all of this, and then I'm going to go ahead and clean up the space, make sure that there's no dust or hair or anything that could get onto the contact paper, because if it does, it will make it not be sticky anymore. The reason I'm using contact paper is because this is not going to be permanent. It's just a temporary idea until I figure out something more permanent that I like. I was considering doing wood, but I'm not sure yet, so I'm going to put this for now. I'm going to be using an X-Acto knife. You can use a blade or anything kind of sharp, and you can apply that with it. It's up to you, whatever is kind of handy. Even a knife would work. You can remove the trim if you want, up to you. Ours wasn't really attached, it's just been floating there until we reattach it, because I knew I wanted to do something here, just wasn't sure what yet. So now that I'm going to go ahead and put the contact paper here, I picked this up on Amazon. I did get 2 rolls because I wasn't sure if one was going to be the full length enough to do it twice. So here's what it looks like close up. I will link down below where I got this at Amazon. Of course, I'm doing something bold here because I know that's what I need for the kids, and it also kind of goes with the house scheme. You can choose different contact paper of your liking, whatever goes with your aesthetic, but I am going with this one and I love it. So all I am doing is I am rolling out the first layer on the top, which is lined up very nicely with the top trim, which I did not remove, and I'm just going to go ahead and smooth it out. I found that it was best to keep the roll up and tight and close to it as you roll it out, so that way you're not getting any pull or resistance, which will then kind of stretch the contact paper because it does have a little bit of elasticity. So then when you roll that out, you can cut it off on one end. So when you get down to the second layer, if you notice on, say, the second roll, or if you're repeating the rest of that roll on a smaller section, and you look at the top edge of the contact paper roll for this particular one, it has a section that lines it up nicely. Now to smooth it out, I'm just using anything that you could find. A towel would work. I'm using one of my kids' little lap things that had a little foam backing to it. I'm just kind of smoothing that out to make sure that there are no bubbles and it's nice and squared off. So when I go and I put the next layer, the next roll, that it does line up very nicely because it was nice and straight. So that is key. So as you can see here, I thought I was going to try to finish off the rest of that roll, but it was a disaster. It kept kinking up on me and I had to unkink it. So I just went ahead and grabbed the next roll. So I'm just showing you that here really quickly. I'm going to go ahead and line it up. So I'm cutting it to where the next one needs to start, because I can see at the very top edge of this where it lines up, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So under the supervision of both the supervisor and the boss, Sketch and Legend, both entering the picture and telling me what was wrong and what I could do better, they told me that I should probably remove the face plate or the cover plate on the little electrical outlet there, which they were right. And then as I was trying to pull off the adhesive part here to put it onto the wall, I just got a little frustrated, and I realized that it might be easier to go ahead and take it off of the roll, because then that way it was only that length that I needed, and then later on I'll realize that it's easier to go ahead and cut the actual length to size 2 so it would stop sticking to the floor, but you'll see those complications as they come later. I left that in just so you could see my struggles, so enjoy.
I could get through to you, don't know what to do to you. Anything I say will come off as wrong, and you're not alone. Something feels out of place, but you have no tell. It's like we want the same things, but the lines we've drawn are too parallel. I can't sleep when you're not talking to me. Got me suffering inside.
Here is finally a better close-up of me trying to line up the top where there is just like 1/8 of a tiny little sliver of a portion of the remaining from the last basically row that you can line up to the bottom with. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm also going to be covering over that little outlet, and you'll see me cut that out using my hand to kind of feel the outline there and using the X-Acto knife. If you feel more comfortable, turn off your breaker box so that you don't get electrocuted. I was very careful here, but I probably should have turned it off for safety. So that's why I'm recommending it. I'm going ahead and I'm going to go ahead and smooth this out again using my little kid lap doohickey, and you can use like a towel, whatever. And so I'll put the faceplate back on there, and you'll see that I'm finding it now that it's easy to go ahead and trim the portion that needs to come off, so that way it's easier to smooth it out. So I trimmed it off of the wall, and then I'm trimming down to the floor. It's pretty easy to kind of go down there, and it doesn't matter that it's very smooth because I do have to put the baseboards back up. So because of that, it doesn't have to be perfect, but if you are leaving the baseboards, that would be a good time to use your X-Acto knife to make sure you get a nice, exact, and smooth cut, and then smooth everything out. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm making sure I'm getting all the bubbles out, making sure everything is perfect, and then I'll pop everything back up, and voila, we are done. Just have to wait for the, boss's approval. Once I've got their approval, it's time to go ahead and pop the baseboard back on, and then I am going to go ahead and show you guys just a little bit of final reveal. Now you can also use this contact paper for all sorts of things. I use contact paper to put on like those plastic bins that you can get for storage that kind of just come very plain Jane, which I did in my last video. I use them to cover up little like binder covers or filing covers. You can use it for like anything. I was thinking about even putting it on the other side of my black fireplace thing. If you guys saw me paint that black board that goes behind my faux fireplace, I was thinking about doing the other side, this tile, so I would have two options. So there's lots of possibilities. That's why I like this, and I thought it would be also renter friendly. Even though we own our home, I still like some ideas that might be temporary while I'm looking for better, more permanent solutions, and this seemed to be a great one that I thought I should share with you guys. I hope you guys enjoy these photos of our kitchen transformation. We started out with a basic kitchen, and then we painted all of the cabinets. I painted and epoxied the countertops. We changed out the hardware, got new appliances, pulled up the flooring and put in wood flooring, did tiling on the backsplash, and now this little detail. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you on the next video. If you're interested in seeing some of the other videos that I've done more recently, or some videos that you might be interested in, check some of these out and hit the subscribe button if you liked this one and you think you might want to hang around. If not, go ahead and explore, and if you decide you want to stick around, you know where to find me.
Don't give up so easily. Open up your eyes and